Here is a cuboid. What is the total surface area of the cuboid? Now what I would always do is I'll draw out each of these faces and break down the picture. Just means doing it this way, you don't then forget a side. So one of my sides is going to look like, I'm drawing this front one now, so we've got 10 centimetres by 5 centimetres. 10 by 5, and I've got two of those. It's the front and then the back. I'm also going to have one of these end faces, which is a 6 by 5, and I've got two of those as well. And then what am I missing? I've got my front, I've got the side, I'm missing the top and the bottom. So for those, and in another rectangle, I'm going to have 10 by 6, and I've got two of those as well. So now let's work out the area of each of these faces. So 10 times 5 is 50 centimetres squared, 6 times 5 is 30 centimetres squared, 10 times 6 is 60 centimetres squared. But I've got two of those, and two of those. So we can write this down here. So 2 times 50 gives us 100, 2 times 30 gives us 60, and 2 times 60 gives me 120. Let's add those up. 0, 8, 2. 280 centimetres squared is going to be the answer to that one. Okay, bearings. 3 key points with bearings. 1, you must read round clockwise. 2, you must start at north. And 3, they must be a 3-figure answer. Okay, so real key point here. Bearing of Q from P. From P means you need to draw your north line at P. So the bearing of Q from P, there's your north line. We're reading round clockwise from north, and it's a bearing of 210 degrees like they've told us. This one, what is the bearing of P from Q? So from Q we draw our north line at Q, read round clockwise. This here is the angle we're interested in. I'll call it X. So do not try and get a protractor out and measure this, it is not drawn accurately. The math skill we need here is angles and parallel lines. This here is a co-interior angle because the north and the north are always going to be parallel to each other. So co-interior angles add up to 180 degrees. So first thing we need to do, angles round at point. What's our missing angle? If the whole thing is 360, take away 210, you're left with 150 degrees. And then co-interior angles, here's that C shape here. These two need to add up to 180, so X is going to be 30 degrees. So X is 30 degrees. What's the bearing? Remember, it needs to be 3-figure bearing, so it's going to be 030. Okay, dividing fractions. Always remember KFC, keep, flip, change. So we keep the first one the same. We flip the second one upside down, and we change the sign from a divide to a times. Then when you're multiplying fractions, you multiply the numerators and you multiply the denominators. That's it. Times across the top, times across the bottom. 2 times 6 is 12, 3 times 5 is 15. Sometimes you might need to simplify, sometimes not. Let's check, is 12 of the 15 on the list? No. So let's simplify. What goes into both? 3 goes into both. So 3 goes into 12 4 times, 3 goes into 15 5 times. Is 4 over 5 on there? Yes, it is. Okay, next question. Factorize completely. So they've used the word completely because that means you need to take out as much as possible. We can see here that maybe we could take out a 3. But if we just took out a 3, we would factorize it, but we haven't factorized completely. So I need to take out everything I possibly can. So here's my single bracket. We've already said we can take out a 3. What else is in both? There's also an X in both. Anything else? No. So I'm taking out a 3X. So 3 times what is 6? 3 times 2 is 6. And I'm missing another X. We've got a minus in there. Then 3 times what is 9? 3 times 3 is 9. I've already got an X. I need a Y. There we go. Let's check now whether that's going to expand. So these two are times together to give us 6x squared. Yep. And then 3x times minus 3y is going to give you minus 9xy. So we know it works. We know we're right. We've factorized completely or factorized fully because we've taken out as many terms as we possibly could. So we're looking for that one now. Here's our answer. Okay, what is 0.00362 in standard form? What I would do, first thing I would do is decide what's going to go out the front. So it's going to be 3.62. Remember, the number out the front has to be between 1 and up to 10, but not including 10. So 3.62. I would then work out how many times you've moved that decimal point. Okay, so we've gone 1, 2, 3. We've moved it 3 times. And then, is it a really small number or a really big number? It's a small number, so you put a minus sign in. That's kind of the cheat. The reason we can do that is because actually we've divided by 1,000, which is why it's a -3. Okay, question 20. So I need to expand these. Again, you can use foil, you can use the fish method, you can use your window and a peanut, I don't mind. Let me do foil this time. First, so 2x times x is going to give me 2x squared. 2x times -3 is going to give me -6x. -7 times x, -7x. And -7 times -3 is +21. I can simplify this middle bit here. So that gives me 2x squared minus 13x plus 21. So 2x squared minus 13x plus 21 is going to be A. So water flows through a container at a constant rate of 0.1 litres per second. How long does it take to fill a can with 9 litres of water? So what we do here is we need to have some sort of triangle. So again, it's compound units. So litres per second is going to tell us everything we need to know to construct our triangle. So our flow rate is litres. Well, litres is our volume. Second is measuring time. So we know that our flow rate is volume divided by time. So our flow rate is volume divided by time. We want to know how long does it take to fill. So how long is time? So I want volume divided by flow rate. Our volume is 9 litres. Our flow rate is 0.1 litres per second. We know our units are consistent because we've got second and then seconds, but we'll double check at the end. So 9 divided by 0.1. If we don't like dividing by fractions or dividing by decimals, then let's just times the top by 10 times the bottom by 10. So that's the same as 90 divided by 1, which is just 90. Okay, so we know it's 90, but remember what I just said about units? We've used litres per second, so our answer of time is going to be in seconds. So we're looking for 90 seconds. Question 22. One of the factors of this is x minus 5. What is the other factor? Nice and easy here. What you can do, you can start to multiply out. So x times what gives me 3x squared. We're looking for 3x. And then what we can do is check this other number in the end. Minus 5 times what is minus 10? Minus 5 times 2 is minus 10. Let's double check this works. X times 3x is 3x squared. We've got plus 2x minus 15x minus 10. Simplify. 3x squared minus 13x minus 10. Yep, it works. Okay, so 3x plus 2. There we go. Question 23. The length of a piece of string is 16 centimeters, correct to the nearest centimeter. What is the greatest possible length a piece of string could be? Now, the easiest thing to do with this is work out what it's been rounded to and then half it. You add it on for the upper bound, you take it off for the lower bound. It's been rounded to the nearest centimeter, so that's half a centimeter, which is 0.5 centimeters, which I'm going to add on and take off. So, adding on, I've got 16.5 centimeters, that's my upper bound. Taking off, I've got 15.5 centimeters, that's my lower bound. I wanted the greatest possible length of string, which is my upper bound, so I want 16.5, which is here. Okay. Question 24. Okay, so this kind of skill isn't tested on the new style GCSE, but it's really good to make sure we do understand this anyway. So a cuboid is shown on a 3D grid. The point G has coordinates 0, 3, 4. The point H has coordinates 5, 0, 0. What are the coordinates of the midpoint of the line segment? Well, actually, all we need to do here is we've given 2 coordinates. We want to find halfway between them. So we need to find halfway between 0 and 5, halfway between 3 and 0, and halfway between 4 and 0. And that is all we need to do for this question. So let's use the average method. 5 add 0 is 5, half it is 2.5. 3 add 0 is 3, half it is 1.5. 4 add 0 is 4, half it is 2. And there are your coordinates, 2.5, 1.5 and 2. They're written as a fraction, but the same thing. And then our last question, we need to be really careful here that we're expanding double bracket. So we've got 2x minus 5, 2x minus 5. Use whichever method you like. Let's do FOIL. So first, 2x times 2x is going to give me 4x squared. 2x times minus 5 minus 10x. Minus 5 times 2 is minus 10x. And minus 5 times minus 5 is going to give me positive 25. Let's simplify. We've got 4x squared minus 20x plus 25. So that's going to be